This is the SIG Azure meeting for October 3rd, 2018. Be aware that these postings will be online, so anything that you do or say will be online for perpetuity. Also, we have a code of conduct for the community, so please be aware of that, and please be kind to anyone that's on the meeting. All right. So hello everyone. This is more people than we've had in a while. I am wondering if there are any specific agenda items that you guys would like to cover. Let me know. If not, we can give everyone a bunch of time back.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of go over, Aish wanted me to come in and kind of just give everybody kind of a rundown of 113 and sort of expectations of what's happening as well.
Sure.
Cool.
Go for it.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and I can add that to the agenda here after I get done talking here. But there is, so 113 is going to be more of an aggressive release cycle for anybody that's unaware. It's going to be, I think, 2 to 3 weeks shorter than the usual. So that means that we are going to begin feature collection starting next Monday. Just a quick little query on it. Right now, there are 3 features that are within inside the features repo. And also, as I'm sure Augustus wants to probably correct me, is that it's been renamed to enhancements. So make sure that you'll see that coming out relatively soon, that a lot of the features are going to be renamed to enhancements as well. But so there's 3 enhancements that are on the features repo. There's 2 of them that are tagged with the milestone for 112. If by any chance these need to be tagged for 113, please go ahead, just check it. We can ping me or ping whoever, we can get them changed to 113. The goal with this is that we are looking to make this more of a stable release as well. So please, no huge alpha PRs that are going to break a lot of stuff. Really looking towards bringing in a little bit more stability into this. So if there's things that had slipped for 112 because they didn't have docs or anything like that, or just some failing tests, let's go ahead and get them in for 113. But nothing that's going to be massive breaking or anything like that is greatly considered going forward for 113. With that, that's all I really had. If Stephen, you had anything else you wanted to add with that as well?
Yeah, sure. So for the most part, I would say that the SIG Azure stuff is so for people who are unaware, Kendrick was my previous feature shadow for the 112 release, and now he is taking the helm as enhancements lead for 113. So congrats to you, by the way. So for the most part, the SIG Azure stuff is pretty well contained to the cloud provider side of the code. I know I'm aware that there will be improvements. I believe we're looking to bring availability zones into beta. There's also a proposal that has been moved into implementable for cross-region resource groups, or rather cross-resource group nodes, which essentially will allow you to specify nodes within the same cluster that span multiple resource groups. What's cool about this is there are also a set of labels that will allow you to decide that it's a set of nodes is not even in a resource group, right? So this starts to enable things like having on-premise nodes and mixed with Azure nodes. So I'm pretty excited about that proposal and seeing where that leads. In addition, I'm trying to figure out the right time to schedule with Cal and Peng Fei and Andy and some of the guys on the Microsoft side to actually present a roadmap for SIG Azure. So we have some cool things coming down the pipe. Cal and I are going to be doing SIG Azure intro and deep dive for the KubeCon Seattle sessions. So if anyone has ideas of things that they would like to see, Cal's gonna whip up some crazy demo. I'm not sure what it's gonna be yet. I think he's still playing around with it. So if people have ideas about what they'd like to see for that, please let us know.
Could you share the notes for the cross-resource group nodes? I'm interested to see if they are also thinking of cross sub ID.
Okay, yeah. Hold on. Let me just give me a second. I'll pull up the community repo. I'm not sure if we covered sub. I did the review of that KEP, so I'm not sure if we covered sub IDs specifically, but I'll ping the team and let them know that's something to
Cool.
consider. Give me a second. I'll pop that in the chat.
Or if we want to add them to the notes.
Yeah.
Or you can send it offline afterwards.
Yeah, totally. So we have no real agenda outside of I'm happy that there are people here today, so we can actually kick around some ideas. So if anyone has things that they want to say, testing that they've been doing with regards to AKS or OpenShift on Azure or whatever kind of setup that you've got going, would love to hear it.
Hey, so my name is Deep Debra. I'm from the SIG storage. I had some questions about the status of the CSI drivers for Azure, and I previously spoke with Andy Zhang and Dong Liu, and it seems like Dong had a couple of CSI drivers going. But what we have done for like the EBS and the GCE drivers is like bring them under Kubernetes SIG as like official CSI driver repo. I was wondering
Okay.
if there's a similar plan for Azure File and Azure Disk, which are still in tree, and they were being tracked under, I think, Dong Liu's personal repo. But is there any plan to kind of make it official? Like we're kind of expecting like it'd be great if they're made sort of official under Kubernetes 6, like the other cloud providers are doing with their storage drivers. Just wondering, like, is there a plan, or if I should reach out personally to Dong because he was developing them, I guess.
Absolutely. So I'm the SIG Azure chair, and I think one of the things that we're going to be pushing to do across closer to the end of the year and probably into first quarter of next year is figuring out, so there's a SIG cloud provider now. So
Okay.
there's an eventual plan for all of the existing providers to essentially bend the knee and fold under SIG cloud provider. So I'm figuring out kind of what the structure of that looks like, and part of that will be gathering all of the repos and making sure that they exist in Kubernetes SIGs. I have I think there's a SIG cloud provider meeting today, which I'll probably stop by. And in general, I want to sync up with Andrew on the SIG cloud provider side, as well as Nishi, who is one of the new SIG AWS leads.
Perfect. Yeah. So Nishi is doing the work for EBS, kind of getting it across. So if we can align the Azure drivers with it, that'd be great.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, just wanted to point it out and make sure it's in the radar. Because 113 is when CSI is also expected to go GA in Kubernetes. So yeah, it'd be great if you can align for Azure.
Definitely. I appreciate that heads up.
Sure.
We're kind of now that the 112 release is done, like my plate is free to tackle some of these things. So
excellent.
Appreciate that. And happy to see CSI going GA. I know that we have a lot of incremental improvements on the SIG storage side. Like so I write some of the blogs and stuff for like Kubernetes IO and like the OpenShift stuff. So like we're like incremental changes for CSI. Like everyone is like, we've done more stuff with CSI. So it's really good to hear that that's targeted for GA in the 113 cycle. Sylvain, do you have more things? I'll cut this short if we're out of time.
I was just going over the list of the pin items. I haven't really looked at it for a while, but external cloud provider. I guess there is a link that I can look, but yeah, is this still in progress? I'm guessing it hasn't occurred yet, right?
The external cloud provider is so that's in progress right now. Again, there are quite a bit of strings that I need to tie together around the out of tree work, just to make sure that that happens and it happens consistently across Azure the way it does in the current cloud providers. So that list that's whoever's highlighting right now is out of date. So
Yeah, I know. I was going over that list now, but I
yeah,
think standard queue load balancer we actually moved to it, so that's done. VMSS we're moving that. We're using it. Autoscaler too.
yes.
Cluster scale. I guess that's mostly for what's his name? I forgot. It's mostly for Cal. Yeah, I'm not sure the status of. I was looking at his repo before, but I haven't seen any updates lately on 5,000 nodes Azure stuff. But I'll follow up offline. There was one
Yeah.
more thing that we. What was it? The accelerated network. Do you know, or maybe that's too Azure specific, but I remember vaguely seeing an issue where people were trying it on ACS Engine and it was causing some issues. So I'm not sure if there is.
I'm not specifically aware of the
Yeah,
accelerated network things. I would say, so we've got a bunch of the ACS engine guys hanging out in the challenge, in the channel now.
the channel. Yeah, I'll ping them.
So yeah, I would say ping Jack Francis, and he might be able to route you to the right person. Jack Francis or Dave Strebel.
Cool. No, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I will clean up this list now that people are actually looking at it.
Always look, but we haven't had this meeting for a couple months now, right? So it's been a while.
Yeah. So VMSS is GA as of 112.
Yeah.
We also moved the autoscaler support to GA it kind of ties into the VMSS stuff. The next big piece of work will be bringing the availability zones to beta.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have any feedback around availability zones, if you've been using them in your clusters and are curious about like where we're going with that, we have a KEP open for that as well, which I can.
Yeah, what does it stand for? Because that was my next question. What does KEP stand for?
Kubernetes Enhancement Proposal.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Yeah, so KEPs are essentially I'm putting on so I'm also the product management chair for Kubernetes, so I'm putting on my product management hat right now. So what we're trying to do overall in the project is, as Kendrick was alluding to, figure out the different things that we need to cause a release to be more stable, right? So and a lot of the work around that is making sure that features enhancements are tracked, right? So enhancements are basically the union of features, what we currently call features right now, and KEPs, right? So a KEP is a body of work that should one is a proposal, and two is a body of work that should span multiple release cycles, whereas a feature hopefully is something that we can nail down in a single release cycle, right? So an example would be Azure availability zones, right? And our cross-resource groups or something like that, right? But that would be a top-level proposal KEP, right? And then the pieces of work that would go into that is like, okay, well, does this work for, can I specify my own zones? Well, do we have a feature that will dynamically choose zones for me? Are we ensuring that storage is home to the correct availability zone as the nodes are, right? So different capabilities like that would be considered features within the scope of that KEP, right? So we're really pushing for this effort to, one, make sure that the KEPs are visible. I shouldn't have to go like, oh, I have no idea where the cross resource group node KEP is, right? We want a pretty dashboard for that. We want to eventually do away with things like the feature tracking spreadsheet, right? So it should be some dynamic list that's generated from some set of metadata that exists in the features repo. The features repo will be renamed to the enhancements repo, and that will contain the old or the archive design proposals, the design documents, as well as the KEPs and the associated features to those KEPs. A lot of that will be capturing one. There's a project board. I'm super excited about this stuff, so I tend to yammer on about it a lot. So there is a project board there's a project board that I recently created that is here. And from there, you can get a better idea of kind of like what we're doing to improve the process and chain some of these things together. And a lot of that work is focused across the community and the community, the test infra, and the K features repo. So feel free to take a look at that board, pop comments on any of those things that that you're curious about. And
yeah, and you get labels, I guess, for the SIG. Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, totally. So expect that to, we're trying to drive that to GA in hopefully 1.14 and 1.15. So it'll be, we'll have SIG PM items as part of the 1.13 release, just as actual code SIGs. So.
Awesome. I think that's it for me.
Cool. Deep, any questions for you?
That was all I had. So this is
Awesome.
great.
Awesome. Well, I will leave you guys and give you back 11 minutes of your life.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
And thanks for driving the show on this. We're glad that it's back online.
Absolutely. Take
Cool.
it easy.
See you.
Right.
Bye.
Yeah.